In today's activity, you're going to design a home that won't blow away in a windstorm. Imagine that you saved up a lot of money to build your dream house. You hire a construction company, the Lazy Builders, to build it. They build most of the house, but then they decide they don't feel like finishing, and they just leave. You go to check out your dream home, and you realize you've got some big problems. The walls of your house are built, but they aren't even attached to the ground. And the roof? It's just lying there on the ground, not attached to the house. Even worse, you hear there's going to be a big windstorm soon, and you can't find any other builders to help out in time. You're going to have to finish this job yourself. Luckily, the people who design buildings, called construction engineers, they don't just start building things right away. When they want to solve a problem, they start with a small model of what they're going to build before they build the real thing. You're going to do what a construction engineer would do. You're going to build a model of a house made out of paper. Then you'll use your model to figure out a way to attach your roof to your house to keep it from blowing off. And you'll also need to design a way to keep your whole house from blowing away in the wind. Okay, first I'll help you build a paper model of a house. You'll get to test out 2 different designs. I'll show you how to get started step by step. Get these supplies. You'll get more supplies later. When you're done with this step, click the arrow on the right. Get your house worksheet. Cut on the center dashed line first to separate the 2 halves of the house. Then, cut all the other dashed lines. Be careful, don't cut through the solid lines, just the dashed ones. You'll start by making the roof for your house. Find the piece that looks like this. Carefully fold each of the solid lines. Crease each fold with your fingernail. The pattern of the roof should be on the outside, like this. Turn the paper over so the white side is up, and put each A flap flat against the roof like this. Hold it in place with a sticker. Then do the same to the other side. Now, the roof of your house is done. Now you're going to make the base of your house. You're going to do this just like you did with the roof. Find the piece that looks like this. Carefully fold each of the solid lines, and be sure to crease each fold with your fingernails so that the folds lay flat. The doors and windows should be on the outside. When it looks like this, you're ready to go to the next step. Start with one end of the house. Overlap the 2 B flaps like this, and fold the C flap over them. Then do the same thing on the other side. It should look like this when you're done. Find your Windmaker worksheet. Fold the sheet in half like this along the thick solid line. Then fold the 1 on top of the 1. Flip the paper over and fold the 2 on top of the 2. And keep going like that. It should all look like this when you're done. Put a paper clip across the end of the folded paper where it says paperclip, like this. Then, carefully spread out your fan, like this. Test your fan by quickly waving it around. For these next steps, it's helpful to have a partner. Now you'll put it all together. Each of you carefully set the roof on top of the base of the house. It should look like this when you're finished. Go to the next step when you've got this. You and your partner choose which house you're going to test first. Don't worry, you'll test both houses eventually. Take turns waving your Windmaker at the house. Can you blow it away? You and a partner get these worksheets and materials. You and your partner each need a set of worksheets, but you'll share the other materials to improve your house. These materials you see here on the right are all the materials you're going to have for improving both of your houses. So use these materials carefully. Once you've got everything you see here, go to the next step. Get your worksheet and answer all of question number 1. Using these new materials you have, can you and your partner come up with a way to keep your house from blowing away? Build your first design and test it by waving your Windmaker. If you can't think of any ways to use your materials, there are some ideas on the next slide. Here are some videos to help you come up with ideas if you need them. Do question number 2. Draw what you designed and describe what happened when you tested your design. How did your first house do? Are there things that you want to try differently? Build and test your second design and do question 3 on your worksheet. Now that you and your partner have both tested 2 different houses, it's time to decide which of your designs worked better and why. Answer question number 4. If both of your designs worked, think about these things. Which one was easiest to build? Which one used the fewest materials? And which one do you think would last the longest in the wind? Make sure to explain your reasoning. In the activity, you did what a construction engineer does. You created a model, and then you used that model to design solutions to a problem. Now, in real life, the next step would be to actually go out and try those solutions on a real house. For the roof, here's one solution we came up with, using stickers to stick the roof to the walls of the house. And you know what? There's a version of this in real life. It's a special kind of glue called sealant. It fills all the gaps between the roof and the frame of the house. to keep the roof sticking tightly to the house. But there's always more than one way to solve a problem. Here's another solution we came up with: using paper clips linked together to attach the roof to the house. In real life, you could use something similar, like these special nails. They're a combination of a nail and a screw. They're the shape of a nail, but they have the grooves along them like a screw. That makes them harder to pull out than regular nails. Their grooves catch on the wood, so holding it tight during a windstorm. Now, how about solving the problem of your whole house blowing away? Well, here's one solution we came up with. We connected toothpicks from the house to paper clips on a sheet of paper under the house. This is like, in real life, what's called a foundation, the part of the house that actually goes into the ground. Foundations are usually made of cement, and they have metal rods inside that connect the house to the cement. That makes the house less likely to blow away. You can think like an engineer by looking for new ways to solve problems. Have fun and stay curious.